let's go. We're talking about NEO. We've been waiting for this earnings. We've really been waiting for it. They report earnings this afternoon. We're going to go ahead and just talk about them. Let's do it. The stock's down 2%. It was down actually closer to 6% a little bit earlier, right after they announced results. So we'll be looking again. We're expecting high growth here, revenue growth, and an EPS line. Obviously negative, but probably I expected it to be a little bit over estimates. But what do we have here? Well, you see. Non-GAAP EPS of negative 12 cents, which is in line, and a GAAP EPS of negative 14 cents, which is a beat by 3 cents. So good on that aspect, relatively good work by the analyst there, I would say. Now the revenue line is what I really like to see. First off, I'm not going to say it's 667 million because it is the devil's number of revenue, apparently, is what they put up. So it almost makes you feel like that's fake. But they beat by $50 million, so overall, this equates to, I believe, around 160% increase year over year in terms of revenue, something close to 150%. So really good stuff. And obviously you can see that through with the deliveries. I mean, that's a beautiful revenue number, but vehicle deliveries of 12,206 compared to 4,799 a year ago in the same quarter. And 10,300 in Q2. So even 2,000 more vehicles in this quarter than last quarter, which last quarter was already a smasher. Vehicle deliveries, as we see, 8,660 ES6s, 3,530 ES8s, which is massive that they're bringing this model back with the new refurbished model this year. It's pretty big. And then 16 EC6s, which obviously just started, so it's hard to weigh that, but I do believe the EC6s is going to be pretty darn massive in the future here. Vehicle sales up 146% year over year, and margin improved from negative 6.8 to a positive 14.5. So this company's already figured out the positive margin thing, which is fantastic because it took a little company named Tesla quite a while to get it done. And if NEO is accurate about this reporting, that's pretty insane. It'd be pretty insane if that's the case, that they're already a positive vehicle margin when, Tesla took so long. They were in the, tens of billions of revenue before they ended up making it there. So it'd be pretty wild if they could turn to a profitable company. Really wild. Gross margin increased from negative 12.1 to a positive 12.9. I mean, that looks good, all things considered. And for Q4, they're expecting in between 6.2 to 6.44 billion, which is the equivalent of, I believe, I don't know what in the world. I think that equates to close to. I mean, that's a lot, by the way. That'll equate to somewhere around $800 million, I think. In terms of revenue, close, maybe even higher than that, versus the consensus of 5.36. So it'll be close to, I think, 800 million. So that'd be really massive there. So we received a new record quarterly deliveries for all the vehicles, obviously with the EC6s being the newest one, no doubt. Followed by the best ever monthly deliveries with 5,000 vehicles in October. That is incredible. And obviously the Chinese auto market is really, really crazy. They're expecting 16,500 to 17,000 vehicles in the next quarter. I mean, that is a massive increase. That's 4,000 more vehicles in the next quarter than they did this quarter. That's crazy. And I do think the stock's down as a result of really just the fact that it's been up so high. I mean, we're talking about, obviously we mentioned year to date the stock's up 1,100%. And I've been along for the ride, baby. So that's really good numbers. It's really good numbers, especially that forecast is incredible. We look, obviously, as far as deliveries are concerned, and you see continuous growth here if you start from 2018 Q4, which Q4 is usually a good year or a good quarter for them. Really good stuff. It's been consistent growth even in the middle of a pandemic. They nearly grew year over year. It's close to that. Then Q2, very good Q2, which is triple what they did the year prior. And this one was also easily double, but close to 2.5 times what they did in Q3 of last year. So Q4, if they can manage to beat obviously 16,000. That'll be double this 8,000 number they did before, which would be pretty crazy. I don't know. That's really crazy. The EC6s, I'm excited to see. I think that obviously with that boost of the EC6s, I think there will be a big boon in that aspect for this next quarter, because they're actually going to start delivering them, which is pretty crazy. And they've sold a lot according to what they've said. And again, if you believe that, you believe that. You know, it's fine. But vehicle margin continues to improve, which is something worth mentioning there. It was 9.7 in the second quarter. Now at apparently 14.5 it's actually really good. That's really good. I mean, that's really good stuff. Total revenues in general, 146% increase from the third quarter 2019, and a 21% increase from last quarter. Gross profit increased quite significantly. It's at negative 86. Well, gross profit actually was a positive, by the way, $86 million. Which is a massive growth from what it was in the year prior. Yeah, that's really good. The year prior was a loss of somewhere close to, I think it was only close to like 20 million or 50 million, I should say. So, or 40 million US dollars. So, really good stuff there. I don't know, you just like to see it. Overall, though, net loss was $154 million. But that's a decrease of half of what it was before. So they decreased it pretty significantly. I mean, 58% decrease from year over year it's really big in that aspect. So, I mean, this was a $300,000 number, or $300 million number last year alone. And you see it getting closer and closer to profitability, which is pretty darn key. Yeah, that's really good stuff. That is really good stuff. You see net loss also improving quite significantly from a deliveries aspect in October. It was pretty crazy. Really good stuff there. 5,500 vehicles, which is 100% year-over-year growth for October. Really good stuff. On November 6th, NIO launched the 100 kilowatt hour battery pack. With battery upgrade plans. The 100 kilowatt hour cell to pack battery pack has realized 37% higher energy density than the 70 kilowatt hour battery. Really crazy. The EC6 has this battery. It can reach up to 615 kilometers in a single charge. Really good there. And again, they give the ability to swap out your battery with the other ones. Obviously, your EC or your ES6s and your ES8s, you can swap out the battery to the 100 kilowatt hour version if you wanted to. Upgrade package is a pretty good idea, actually. You can do a monthly subscription fee, or you can purchase it outright. So that's honestly like pretty smart by this company. I can't lie to you, it's pretty smart. Yeah, I like exactly what they're doing. Really, really good stuff. Let's see, we already went into obviously sales like that. Nothing super crazy. As far as this stuff is concerned, the loss, we got into that. Net losses we talked about. Good stuff there. The business outlook is crazy, by the way. We do want to look at the balance sheet. So, this is obviously in renminbi. Not in dollars, but we do have the overall US dollars on the right. We just don't have necessarily the comparison. But this is a balance sheet that's crazy. First off, we're given a 9 months comparison, which I think is crazy. So the total current assets position, which is likely just because of capital raise, you would assume, has absolutely gone 5 times the value here. 5 times. Right now sitting at $3.8 billion, which is a lot for a company of this stature. And the total assets in general actually more than doubled. So now you're sitting at $5 billion total for that. Liabilities, well, I'm very impressed by this liability number because they really didn't change. They really didn't change at all. You're talking about an increase of $1 billion on the total current liabilities, but total liabilities in general actually saw a decrease. Actually saw a slight decrease, sitting at $1.3 billion, which means, I mean, that's pretty nice. Total liabilities of $3 billion, which gives $2 billion of stockholder equity right now, which is actually, I mean, if this is accurate, which I'm hoping Neo's not lying to me. I'm really hoping, and I don't think they are. This is an incredible balance sheet already for this company that seems to be heading towards profitability, and it'll only get better. I can't lie. I'm gonna say that I'm upset with myself for selling my position earlier this year, but again, I thought there was limited upside in the short term, and that's why I did it. I thought there would be a downward spike at some point, and there hasn't been. There hasn't been at all, and it's hard to say what the trajectory of this company is going, if there will be, because there's some good looking numbers. But that's all I got for you today. I'm not buying the stock still at these levels. I'm just gonna hold it, and I hope you enjoyed.